A few days ago, we were talking about a couple important events taking place for Shib that needed to happen, that we needed to watch very closely. And the good news is that they finally started taking place. We've had a couple bullish flips that we need to talk about because this historically leads us on some good price performance. Not saying it has to happen again for sure, but there are also some other things that are working in Shib's favor. Could we, in fact, be about to see some significant surges in price? We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now, Shib is at about 40134, and Shib is doing some interesting things. There are times during the day where it'll outperform the market, and there are some times where it underperforms the market. And it's very strange, and Shib is kind of doing its own thing right now. Obviously, earlier today, we talked about some of the resistance and tests that Shib was fighting against. And I think there's going to come a moment where things open up as long as these trends that we're in right now continue. Again, the biggest thing for Shib is retail excitement. Meme coins tend to be very retail driven assets. So when retail is excited and moving their money into assets, that's where Shib can outperform and do incredibly well. Again, the fact that we're seeing this bullish flip on the weekly stochastic RSI, the fact that we're seeing momentum do what it's doing, they're all great signs for Shib price moving forward. But what I will say is those things that we were talking about just a few days ago are really working well in our favor. So this is the Shib dominance chart. And we talked about that again 2 days ago or so. And what we've seen since that time is us breach this 20-day moving average and surge about 6%. So that is a great sign because there are many assets throughout the crypto space that during this time have done quite well. Many surging double digits, doing, rising up the charts. Shib right now, guys, is still sitting at number 19 in the overall crypto market. Do I think it's going to be sitting at 19 in the overall crypto market if this continues? No. I think there's an opportunity for Shib to take some big steps forward here. But like we were talking about, we did get that bullish weekly flip on the stochastic RSI, and now it looks like this is a very distinct trend change that Shib is going to be trying to target this 20-week moving average and maybe even the middle of our big bull flag that we were printing, right? This isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that, but definitely something to monitor closely. And what I will say is also on the Shib BTC chart, look what we're doing. Same thing. Bullish flip. Breaking past that 20-day moving average. Little bit of fight right now at that 50-day moving average. But these are some great signs. And now we might be targeting, a 20% surge versus BTC here. Again, nobody knows what's going to happen for sure. This has been kind of our focal point of resistance here. But Shib might have some gusto in the tank here moving forward. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, somebody did ask me, a viewer asked me to actually put the Shib ETH chart on top of each other. And I do want to talk about this because this is the one thing that hasn't really made a big flip yet. And this is the thing that when it does make a big flip, that is when Shib is really going to liven up. So right now, Shib ETH is still below this 20-day moving average. It has not made a distinct move towards it yet. We're still trying to confirm this double bottom. Yes, we're a little bit lower than we were back here in July of 2024. It's down about 1% from then, so not a big separation right now. But what we're seeing currently is a little bit of divergence in terms of Shib and Ethereum. So for example, here is the Shib chart and the ETH chart together. And you can see that they tend to move very closely together. Sometimes Shib actually outperforms ETH, like all the way back here in 2022, which was pretty incredible what Shib was doing. Shib was actually one of few assets in 2022 to actually not set a lower low than it did in June. And then we obviously know we dealt with some of the Voyager selling back here in early 2023. We had the big shakeout event that happened in June with the SEC and institutional dumping. And there's my memory's pretty good when it comes to this stuff. But apart from that, Shib has done a great job of actually working with ETH. The LPs with ETH have actually drugged Shiba Inu up. That's a great sign. Now, what you may notice is a little bit of divergence that started back here in the middle of May. So why is that divergence taking place? Well, here's the thing. When ETH is showing some signs of strength, very distinct pivot versus BTC, and Shib is not, Shiba Inu holders, especially newer ones, are going to do some capitulating. We talked about that. It was a lot of short-term capitulation that was taking place. And unfortunately, that is what pushed Shiba Inu price down. Now, that being said, what we've noticed here is that Shib and ETH are starting to kind of work together here. If you guys take a look, this is where we're at. Now, we talked about obviously the big thick level of resistance that Shib was fighting, the important test, right? And now we're against that group of holders that are about to be in profit. And the thing is if they don't decide to take profit there, if they don't decide to dump their bags, which who knows what people are going to do, that's where, again, Shib can make a more aggressive move versus Ethereum. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. That's the pivot in the charts that we've been waiting for in terms of the Shib ETH pairing, right? Right here. This is exactly what we're waiting for. Not saying this has to happen for sure, but that's essentially what we're waiting for, right? Now, a couple things that are working in our favor. When we look at actually these trending coins in crypto, where is Shiba Inu at? Number 15 overall. It's a great sign because Shib is number 19 overall in terms of market cap. When we look at most visited assets, Shiba Inu, number 14 overall. So Shib optics are actually on the rise. Obviously, Ethereum's higher. There are some other assets that are higher, but people are paying attention to Shib. We just haven't had that big, huge meme coin push yet. We haven't had that big retail push quite yet. There's still a lot of people that I see comment that are still thinking that we're about to see a massive retracement. A lot of people are still thinking that prices are going to come down. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. There are always people every time we go on one of these massive rallies in the crypto market that get left behind. I'm getting a huge sense that there are a huge amount of people that are about to get caught and about to be stuck chasing assets and screwed themselves when it comes to creating generational wealth. As always, this isn't financial advice. People can do whatever the hell they want. But all I know is that many of you have been preparing. I've been preparing. And I'm excited about what comes next. So I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. But have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.